Hello there. Welcome back to the Joey OB YouTube channel. I am your host, Joey OB, also known as Big Joseph, also known as your local Joseph, also known as Joey OB123. So the reason why I'm making this video is because me and Spicy J did something pretty unheard of at Wickham. We shot -14 on their 16-hole monster course that they have there. So we only missed out 2 birdies on that round, and it was 14 birdies in a row. So I'm gonna explain the story that led us to there, and our mindset in the round, and how we were able to overcome all the odds for me to get my first ever victory at Final Throws doubles, when I have literally won every single singles event there that I've ever gone to, but I never won a doubles because of this little thing called the handicap system. So let's get right into it. So just quickly explain what Final Throws is. So Final Throws is an event in Dorset Hills, led and hosted by the Green Bros. So that is Pat Green, Ed Green, and Angus Green, the 3 farmer brothers who have been playing since they were wee lads, and the course has been there for such a long time. It was installed by their uncle. It's been there since maybe the 1990s. So for disc golf, that's pretty old. Disc golf is quite a young sport compared to some. So yeah, they grew up. They were running around the farm when the likes of Simon Lizotte was there, David Feldberg was there at the European Championships that happened there in I think 2002 or something, early 2000s. So a lot of history at this course. And these days it's more history to do with the Final Throws event that happens, and there's one every year in sort of May time. And that is a singles event, so it's basically just everyone against everyone. You have your different divisions. You have your advanced dams and intermediate amateurs and open and FPO, the female pro open and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just everyone v everyone, maybe like 3 rounds. And then in August, later in summer, right at the end of summer, the last weekend of August, there's always the last weekend of August, you have the Final Throws doubles, which to be honest is the more just legendary event. And if anyone's watching right now who has been touring with me in 2024, 2025, you will probably have heard about this event, or anybody who has been there and you've met them, because it's just that good that I think I would talk to a lot of my disc golf mates about it. So doubles has a handicap system which has screwed me over so many times to get the win. Basically, I first started coming to this event. You have to be over 18 to come to this event because they drink alcohol there. So my first event was 2021. As soon as I turned 18, I was like, right, I'm going. And yeah, so I've been to the doubles maybe 3 times before this because I missed out a couple of times. And because of the handicap system, which is basically, it takes into account your rating, your PDGA rating. And so let's say my rating was 9. Well, my rating right now is 989. So we take, basically I get a handicap of -2 because it's not in the 9. So if it was in the 990s, it would be -1, because in the 980s it's -2. Let's say it was 800, that would be -20, but that would be a bit crazy. So yeah, so the handicap is -2 for me, plus your partner's handicap. So my handicap of my partner Spicy J was, I think he was in the 930s or 40s, so he had a handicap of -6. So altogether it was like -8 or something like that. You know, so that's how it works. And fun fact, I was actually the first human ever to break the handicap system at Final Throws, because I turned up to the singles and the doubles, I think, on when I had a rating of over 1,010, my handicap was +1. I didn't really break it, but I just basically I started off on +1. So any partner who got me was like, fucking hell. So that's why it was always so hard to climb back to the top tier, because you're basically already starting the tournament behind everybody else, like far behind everyone else. You know, there's some people who were in the open division. So you have different divisions in the doubles as well. So you have open and advanced dam and stuff. And lots of people are in the open who shouldn't be in the open. And they just have a massive handicap, like -17 or something. And if two partners have a really good one, it's like -17 plus -10, and then it's -27. They are -27 under par before anything starts off. And I might be like -8, so we're already having to make up ground, which basically means that I have to play my best. You have to play your absolute socks off to win. And the Green Brothers swear by this system, and I used to bloody hate it, but I'm really starting to understand how it does make sense. Because I finally won, I finally overcame the system, I do believe that it is fair, but for the first 3 years I was like, this is ridiculous. Basically kept on coming up one shot short on, I think, the first time ever. Then it was like I came up 2 shots short on another one, and like another 1 shot or 2 shots short. Every time it was 1 or 2 shots off. And when I felt like I had just tried my absolute best. So this time I had more experience, and I knew what was on the line. I knew you have to play your socks off. You have to play well. You have to play smart as well. And in the previous ones, wasn't quite playing as smart. And this type of doubles is not best shot. Best shot doubles is where I throw a shot 150 meters down the fairway, lace the fairway, right, we go from mine. Because my partner's, what was that sound? My partner's gone 70 meters. It's not like that. So basically, if I am locked out, which means if I've taken let's say I've done that really good drive twice in a row, that means we can't take mine again. I'm locked out. So we have to take Spicy J's. Unless I get it in the basket. On the third drive, if you throw an ace, then it's fine. And we'll get on to why that is important a bit later. So, yeah, that's the handicap system. So you want to try and stay not locked out in this sort of situation. Ideally take my drive, then Spicy J's drive, then my drive, then Spicy J's drive. You get me? You zoom me. I'm going to stick on a couple of videos of me throwing the final throws on the screen right now. I'm not going to do it during the story, but I'll just stick on a few videos now that you can watch. Stick on a bit of music on top of it, just so you can get an idea of some of the holes that are out here, especially hypotenuse. I'll put on the video of me throwing the orange disc and parking that hole with Spicy J and him going mental at the end of the video. So, yeah, enjoy.
Oh, go on.
Get in. Go on.
Oh! Oh my God! My mistake.
Yeah. Go on. Oh, God.
Cheating lefty. I mean, beautiful shot.
Cheers.
Egg.
Hey.
Oh.
The egg. Wow. Hit the tree.
Hit that tree. Oof.
Bye-bye.
Nice. All right, little intro to the man, the myth, legend, Spicy to the J. Spicy J. Spicy J is from Bristol, and he is still part of the Ultimate Team, the Bristol Ultimate Team. I'm not sure what the name is, but he's an absolute wizard with a frisbee. And he'd come and stayed at my house in Newcastle before, and I've seen him at various places, and he's just great crack. And I've always got on with him. And his girlfriend Juju. So I was very excited when what happens basically at Final Throws is everybody puts their minis in a bag, and you pick out the minis, bang bang. And I got Spicy J, and we just gave each other hugs. We were like, let's fucking go. This is gonna be a fun weekend, and it really was. So yeah, and our mindset going into it, because obviously I've done a lot of disc golf in my life, about 20 years now, and I've done final throws quite a lot of doubles now. So my mindset was really just to be quite relaxed. When you start to stress that you've missed a birdie opportunity, like you go onto an easy hole and you miss a birdie opportunity, that stress just leaks onto the rest of the holes, and you start to think that you don't have any time, and it's like, oh my god, we need to get birdies, otherwise we're going to lose, and all of a sudden it's the end of the round and you fucked it. So it was to stay very relaxed and trust, and know that if we don't get a bid on this hole, it's fine, because there's plenty more holes, and just relax. And the biggest thing I think was trusting each other, trusting our own abilities, and bigging up each other and being like, yeah, you've got that, easy, absolutely easy. That just created such a lovely atmosphere that we could both slide into, and it's very supportive and just fun. So the sun was out as well, which definitely helped. Yeah, so just never really being stressed, knowing that there's plenty more holes out there, and trusting in our ability to, like, our base level of getting birdies and being good disc golfers, not thinking that it's above us to birdie, just trusting and being like, yeah, we're going to do well, we're going to get some birdies, it's going to be great. Also, with it being the doubles variation that it is, where it's not best shot, it is modified doubles. So you have two shots and then you get locked out, if you take the same drive twice. We tried to keep it as open as we could, taking each drive if we could, but knowing that actually for the game, it was sometimes useful to get one of us locked out, because let's say I've already used my drive once, and the next drive, right, I throw it up there, we have a birdie opportunity here, and Spicy J is not around the basket. It's better to then take mine, and as long as we think ahead, as long as we think about the next hole, and we think, right, is Spicy J going to be all right for this hole? Does he really need me on this hole? And and then we make a decision, and I'm like, I just turn to him, I'm like, Spicy J, Spicy, I trust you, and then we just go from there. And with that trust, just gave him more confidence, because I'm trusting in him, and I'm a good disc golfer. I will hold my hand up and say I'm a good disc golfer. So for him, knowing that I trust in him, he's like, all right, I've got this as well. And him trusting in me, when sometimes he was locked out, and I would be like, so all right, Spicy J, I've got this shot. He'd be like, all right. And then I pulled it off, and that gives us more confidence going into the next round, the next holes. So accumulating that, and if anything happens, it's fine. It's bloody fine. We just move on. Everyone makes mistakes. We're human. Oh, you're very handsome, aren't you? Yeah, so sometimes when Spicy J was locked out, we'd make sure that it's a shot that I'm comfortable with throwing, that I know I can do well. Or if I'm locked out, we would make sure that, if we could, that it was on a hole where, for example, it's like a par 4 where you can birdie it with a decent first drive. So because he has a bit less distance than I do, we would try to have him on the par 4s. So, but he's accurate. He's super bloody accurate. He's so good. So he gets one in the middle of the fairway, and then now we're both open on our second shot to still try and get the birdie. So that's, if you want to be locked out, it wants to be on a par 4 where you can just stick it in the middle, and then you can still both get a chance to birdie it. That is the ticket right there. That is how you get 14 bloody birdies in a row, my friends. All right, so on the Friday night, we arrive, and I'm partying away in the summer house. The summer house is this beautiful house that some of the people stay in. Everyone else camps in the fields, but some people stay in the summer house. And this summer house is built by the Green brothers, I think granddad, by hand or something. So it's super cool. And so, get some party time in, get to sleep. 9 o'clock rolls around. 9 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and here we absolutely bloody go. You know, we are early going out to on a bloody adventure. That's what it feels like. It feels like you are the hobbits starting off in the Shire, right? At the campsite. And you're going off on a bloody adventure to fight some dragons and stuff. Going through these curved trees in the deep woods in some parts of the course, and then up on the beautiful hills where you can see the views, the Dorset Hills and the villages nearby, and the cows off in the distance, and the sheep going bah, bah. No, I can do better than that. Bah. Fuck that. And especially if you're high, right? Imagine looking at these trees, these weird old trees curving around. It's gonna be a proper adventure. So we started off on the 13-holer on the first day. I think we came on the morning. Sorry, it was the first day as well, and we came back. I think about 9 under par, something like that, maybe 8 under par. So it's pretty solid. And I'll talk about one in particular important moment in this round, which is probably one of the most insane moments. It might be the most insane moment of my disc golf career. Definitely one of them. And what happened was, so we started off, we got a couple birdies, but we also got a couple pars. I think we were a bit slow. I think we started off maybe birdie, par, then got birdie. But we knew that wasn't sort of the pace that we needed to win, because as described earlier, it is hard to win the doubles because of the handicap. So we knew we needed to do something. And we'd taken my drive. We'd just come off a birdie on a long hole. We took, I think, my drive and my approach, but we took my drive on the previous hole as well. We didn't get that birdie. And so we were coming on to the hole that is the highest hole on the point, on the entire farm. So right on top of the hills. And it's a blind basket. You can't even see the basket. So you're basically shooting around. It's a lefty hole or a forehand hole. You are starting next to some trees here. Wait, the camera's going to turn. It's fine. So the trees are here, and the tee pad is here, and then you're kind of curving around the hill, and there's a big hedge behind the basket, which is out of bounds, so you can't overthrow it. Probably like 65 meters, maybe 70 meters, probably 65. So bear in mind at this point, right? I think I turned to Spidey and I'm like, oh, we need to pick up the pace a bit. And I'm pretty sure Spicy J turned to me and said something along the lines of, let's do some magic. You've absolutely got this. We're gonna do some. It was something like just trust yourself. Oh no, he said, just relax, and enjoy yourself. And just let it loose and just fully commit, sort of thing, that sort of thing. And then I was like, right, you know what, I will just relax and go a bit slower. And I did what he said, and I threw it up and over, and I was like, is that in the right sort of line of the basket? Because I couldn't see anything. And it flew over. It was my zone, my green zone. I flew over the hill, around the hill. Now I can't see it. Ching. I was like, I knew it was the basket, this basket and not another basket, because there wasn't many baskets close by. But I was like, is it? I didn't want to celebrate yet because I didn't know if it stayed in. And there was a lady spotting at the halfway point, so she could see both us and the basket. She was like, it's in! And I was like, no way! And I ran, and I got my disc out of the basket. And I was like, come on! I think I hugged Spicy J and the rest of the card mates in the spotter. And it was just crazy because a locked out ace, no one's ever had that in final throws, I'm pretty sure. And I almost had one once, actually. And I hit the chains. This is absolute redemption. And I got the locked out ace, which meant that it resets the modified doubles. So even though we took my drive 3 times, it meant that now we could take my drive again if we wanted to, which is the only time that you can ever take your drive more than 3 times. So yeah, we got the ace, and that was some magic, the most magic of that round, and we came off that round about 9 under or 8 under or something. So it was a solid first score, and we definitely had some fun while doing it. But as I knew, this was behind what we needed to do. Why is it zoomed in? I don't know why it zoomed in. But as we knew, it was still behind where we needed to be, because these people who have the high handicaps under par, even if they just get, because when you're in doubles as well, it's easy not to get bogeys. So these people who have the high handicaps, they can just shoot a couple under or something, right? And they still have their like minus 25 handicap. So they're still, let's say, minus 23, all right? And we're like still minus, then we then move up to like minus 16 or something. So we're still behind. But usually it's more than that. Usually it's more than minus 23. Usually it's like high minus 20s. So we knew we have to keep that pace and better, because we were still taking the handicaps into account. We were still down on the leaderboard. In terms of the score, I think we were at the top at that point on the round, but that didn't really mean anything at that point. So then we go into round 2, and this is the championship course, championship layout. So it's 18-holer, and we do some really cool stuff. I think we shot, was it 11 down maybe? Was it 11? I think it might have been 11 down. It might have been 11. Yeah. So lots and lots of birdies. And like I said, we were playing this thing where if we got onto a path, let's say I've just taken my drive because it's a lefty hole, 2 left holes in a row, or a couple of shots that I'm very comfortable throwing and know I can do very well. Then if it's a par 4 coming up, I'm like, right, Spicy, turn to him. I'm like, right, Spicy J, I bloody well trust you right now, all right? So don't fucking let me down. I don't say that. I was like, you've got this. So I trust him to take the drive on the par 4, and he goes and he sticks it in the middle. We get up and down for the birdie. That sort of stuff was going on. We're going back to back sometimes. Like he would get the birdie drive, and I would get the birdie drive, and we'd each let each other putt, and I would trust him to putt. In the past, in previous years, I'd be like anxious to let the other person putt, because I'd be thinking of this as voodoo shit. Like if I let him go, then I'm not going to be as confident in my next putt, because it means I've lost the streak of taking the putt first, or something like that. You know how you can get up in your head about stuff, especially on the green in disc golf. But we were just going with the flows. Like if he was like, "Oh, I want to take it," I'd be like, "Yeah, go for it, bro." So just proper trust and belief in each other, and just trusting each other to take the shots and be like, "Yeah, go for it," and just taking it turn back to back. Greatness and good vibes and good music, Spicy J, especially on that round. I literally had to ask for his playlist because it was unreal. But anyway, we get on to the third round, the one I want to talk about the most. And like I said, with the modified system, we are still behind. After, I think, minus 9, minus 11, we're still behind. And I've got my scorecard here, actually. So what did we do? So we got a 35 on the first round through 13. Yeah, through 13 holes, 35. So look, you can see the 1. You can see the 1 on there. Right there. There's the 1. My first ever scorecard that has a 1 on. Because it's been in tournaments before. I have done it, but it was on a digital scorecard. Not like that. So, and it's been in practice before too, of course. And then this one here is the second round. I don't know why, it's the wrong order for some reason, but it's this one. So lots of, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we didn't get a single, I think we only got 3 bogeys across the entire thing. Maybe even like, was it 1 bogey? It was like 1, 2 or 3 bogeys, something like that. Very few bogeys. So yeah, and as I'm reading here, our handicap was minus 8. It's like I said. So that's what we started off with. We started off with a helping hand of minus 8, while some people had like minus 20 or something. A lot of people had like minus 27. minus 30s even. So yeah, and yeah, I'm just looking at this scorecard. On the first round, there was 1-4, and I think that was par 4. On the second round, there was 3 4s, but I'm pretty sure that they were on par 4s as well. Yeah, they were. And then the rest is 3s and 2s, baby. And a 1, of course. So we get on to round 3. And total score for this round was a 43 through 16 holes. And let's get into this round. So we are paired with a few lovely people. There's obviously me and Spicy J. We are doubles. And we're with Pat Green, Nathan, Ray, I think, and Dom, and somebody else. A few lovely people. So it was good vibes, and we knew what was on the line. We knew we had to go pedal to the metal, pedal to the hand to the foot to the pedal on this round to win. You know, you have to keep the pace. You can't drop the pace. You can't have a round where you just don't play as well. You have to keep the pace. So where did we start off? I think we started off on hole 1, actually. Yeah, was it hole? No, sorry. Where was it? No, it wasn't. I remember it was, so there's a hole near the summer house that goes over water to start off with. And I put it very close on that hole. I started off, I went with my zone, put it under the basket. Well, maybe like 5 meters away. And then I made the putt. So a good start. So then it was, yeah, we go on to hole 1 on the champs course, which is a long par 4. We put a drive down there. We got the birdie pretty well. Spicy J had a great approach there. Then the next hole, I smashed the driver on the corner. This one is like a dog leg to the right. I smashed the driver up there. So we each have an approach to try and get the birdie. I think we take mine or his, but we got the birdie. We put it decently close, like 6 meters, I think. And then the next hole, I did a really good, I think I smashed the drive through the gap. Basically, this next hole is, you have the slope like this, the slope like that. So you have to keep it kind of up on here. You can't go down there. And halfway point of the hole, there's some trees. And if you get through the trees, then it makes a second shot completely open and a lot easier. So I made it through the trees. And then, so the slope is like this, and the land very particularly on exactly the same level as the basket, because that's the only place where it's flat. Everywhere else is like this. So then my approach, I'm pretty sure I absolutely parked that. And then we go on to the next hole, and I think, yeah, so that's right. I think we took, yeah, that's how we, it's because it's hard to get a birdie on doubles when you get locked out. So hole 1, we took mine. Hole 2, we took his. Hole 3, we took his, I think. Hole 4, we took mine. And, well, on hole 2, it might have been me, but it didn't really matter if we took his on the next one. And then hole 4, we took mine. Hole 5, we took mine. And then hole 5 is a slope like this, so it's a lefty hole. And there's a OB fence, slope like that. Again, it's like you want to land on the flat, and I put it under. So at this point, I was locked out. The next thing you know, we're going on to a hole where you basically tee off from an out of bounds area, but the tee box is obviously in bounds. And you have to throw it over a valley of, just goes so far down, all OB. It's like the Grand Canyon goes down, and then you want to go make it inbounds over a fence into the inbounds area, and it's not easy to reach. But so it's either a lefty sort of shot or a forehand shot. But Spicy is your man for the left, for the righty forehand. Sorry, and I just trusted him. I was like, yeah, you've got this. You got this. Just make sure it's nice and safely inbounds. And because I know he's good at forehands, I knew he would make that happen, and he did. So we each have an approach for the birdie, and we got up and down for the birdie. And the next hole is a lefty hole, and so yeah, we're basically, as you can hear so far, we manufactured it so that we always had the chance of the birdie. Even if I was locked out, and it took some trust. It took that last hole. There was Grand Canyon of OB, but I was like, you know what, Spicy, you got this. You got this. This is the way we have to do it if we want to win, if we want to get all the birdies, you know. So it's all good. And the next hole was a lefty sort of shot, so we went for mine, and we got the birdie. Put it pretty close, I think. Yeah, I think I parked that one with my PD2, orange PD2, absolute legendary disc. So then the next hole, obviously we're just taking my drive, his drive before, but if we take mine again, then we're locked out. So, and this is a big par 4. You can see the basket, but it's donkeys away. It's about 190 meters in the distance, maybe 200 meters or something. Big smash. And pretty sure I put one pretty far down there, but we decided to take his instead to keep the birdie streak alive. So we went from further down, so he stuck it in the middle because he's an absolute G. Went with the forehand, I think. Wait, sorry, no, I lie. We went with my drive. On this one because I smashed it. That's right, because I just put it really far. Yes, so I did an amazing drive. It was a hyzer flip to hyzer again, and it was absolutely smashed. And my previous rival, James Luton, was watching on. And he's probably going like, yo, because he was trying to beat me with, I don't know who's. He's paired with David, who smashes it a long way. But they were just watching on, probably thinking like, oh, I hope he throws it in the bush. And I'm sure he's cheering me on. So yeah, we get it far down and we basically have an eagle opportunity, maybe like 25 meters into the basket. So we take that because there's an eagle opportunity, you have to take it. And we didn't quite make it. And actually what happened on this putt was I was about 5 meters away and I missed it. But it changed straight out of the middle of the basket. So it was like that sort of stuff just happens, especially on these baskets. These baskets aren't the most secure. They're a bit older baskets, old style baskets. And so Spicy J steps up. After, by the way, bear in mind, after I missed that putt, James Luton, David, my brother, the rest of some Final Throws gang were on the next tee, because it's close to the basket. So they were all watching on like, oi, when I missed that putt. And they were like proper watching, trying to put pressure on Spicy J, but he knocked it down because he's a G. So we get onto the Big Daddy hole, hypotenuse, and Pat Green comes over and he's like, boys, I know what we need to do here. And he points out a spot, the best spot to land if we want to get the birdie, because I'm locked out at this point. I could have smashed one down there, but I was locked out. And this is a par 5, bear in mind, and plays, I think, over 300 meters, because it's 2 holes in one. The first hole, which it usually is in the championship course, it's 190 meters, but you can reach it with a putter. It's that downhill. And the second hole is the hardest par 3 on the course. Those two mixed together equals the par 5. And Pat Green came over and he's like, look, boys, you need to put it right down there. You need to lay up right at that spot before the bracken, because there's bracken that you don't want to land in. And then from there, you can hook one round, and then you can get another one and put it under the basket and get the birdie. So there's a lot riding on it. You know, if we landed in, this is to keep the birdie streak alive. I think we're like 8 birdies in at this point. And if Spicy landed in the bracken too far, it's very hard to birdie from there. That's probably the hardest part. Or if you're on the slope, it's hard as well. And he sends the forehand out. Gets down, rolls a little bit, literally on the exact spot that Pat said. The bracken is there. Our disc is a meter from the bracken. If it's a meter longer, we are fucked. But it was perfect. And from there, Spicy goes. He doesn't do a very good one, to be honest. But I get my Halo Boss and I push it. I just watch it. As soon as I threw it, I'm like, yes! I literally was like, come on. I turned to Spicy, was like, come on. That was perfect. And he was like, woohoo! Both celebrated right up there so far. And then we have an upshot. And the slope is like this. There's so many slopes at this course. So slopes like this. OB here, but we're not going to land in the OB. But it's mainly the slope, and the basket is perched up right at the top of the field with all this slope. So as a lefty, trying to navigate that slope and try and land it up there without it hyzering down the hill is quite hard. So Spicy really needed to put it close, and he gave us a chance. think he was. Yeah, that's right. He put us about maybe 12 to 15 meters downhill of the basket, so uphill shot. But at first we were like, oh no, it's riding on me, and the wind picked up and I rushed it and I didn't do what I wanted to. I left it like 20 short, so we just went from Spicy's, and there was a lot riding on this putt. This is to keep the birdie streak alive, 8 straight birdies, something like that. And I step up, I know what needs to happen, I envision it. I'm like, Joe, in the past, sometimes when you're in this position, you put too much pressure on yourself, you fluff it up. Just whatever you decide to do, just give it 100%. So I aimed for what I wanted to hit. I was like, right, I'm just fully committed in there, and even if it doesn't go in, I'm giving it 100%. And I send it on that line, I give it that extra height because of the slope uphill, and it goes straight in the middle. Perfect. Spicy's gassed, I'm gassed. Pat comes over. I think everybody's gassed in the car because now they know what's going on. Now they see the birdie stacking up and know that uphill 12, 13 meter putt was to save, a little bit of wind, was to save the birdie streak. Now everybody is gassed and excited for what's to come. And we move on to the next one, which is very historical because, let's just say this, 2 years prior to this moment, on this tee that we're about to step onto, the exact same hole on the exact same course, was a very famous moment that the Green brothers love to speak about. Pat Green in particular, who was there on the day, who was my doubles partner, who is on the card, speaks about it all the time, tells everybody about it because of how funny he thinks it is. And it's basically called Joe Goes Rogue. The Joe Goes Rogue moment. And if you don't know, that was about me. And Joe Goes Rogue is basically where Pat was locked out and it was me to go. And bear in mind, we are in the running for winning doubles. And somebody in the card tells me about, might have been Pat, about a story of how somebody went over the top on its par 4, went over the top of the hole, not the traditional route, over the top, over all of the OB, and absolutely fluffed it up, didn't make it, and then went for it again and made it the second time somehow. And me hearing this, I'm like, well, I can do that. I can make it in first time. And I'm like, right, I start lining it up. And Pat's like, don't do it, Joe. Don't do it. I'm locked out, Joe. I'm still lining it up. I'm like, I have to trust myself here. I have to go for what I want to do. He's like, don't do it, Joe. I'm locked out, Joe. It's a stupid idea, Joe. And I throw it. And it goes up. It goes up over the trees, over the OB. And I'm like, is it going to be alright? There's loads of wind. There's a headwind. And I just start watching it come back over my head. Over my head. Carries on going over my head. It's gone to the next field. It rolls. It's gone about over 100 meters behind me. And everyone is absolutely creasing. Everyone is absolutely creasing. Just on the floor laughing, dying, and somebody goes and gets my disc for me because I'm just incapable at this point on the floor. So that's the Joe Goes Rogue moment. And Pat was like, Joe, go rogue again on this round with Spicy J. And I was like, I don't know. So I had 2 discs in my hand, and I kept on lining up the traditional route, which is just straight up the middle, but you still get over the fence with that into a good position. And so I was lining that up, and I was like, should I go for it? And I was like, YOLO. And I went for it. And Pat was like, I didn't expect you to go for it. Everyone was like, you didn't have to. But I did. And it went OB. And Pat then said to me, I told myself, if you went for it, if you were brave and you went for it, I would let you take the shot again. But I didn't want to, sabotage our perfect doubles thing and have a sort of a loud retake. So I didn't do that. And Spicy J, he does a pretty good one, and he puts it up there because he's not locked out, luckily. And he puts it next to the fence. And so we basically, this hole goes up and then it goes down. Lots of slopes. So next shot we have to go over a fence. It's just blind. We can't see the basket. We have to go over a fence. So we're here. It's kind of flat. Go over a fence. Then it goes really downhill. Basket is down that hill. Probably like 70 meters away. But because there's wind and the slope, it's very hard to judge what to do. So I think Spicy goes first. He maybe gets it too far. Oh no, I think I go first, and I'm like, oh, it's a really good line, but he goes too far. And then Spicy goes, and he puts it a bit short, and we're like, oh, we got to keep the birdie streak alive. Everyone's nervous. Spicy J takes the lead on the putt. He misses it. And I step up. Everybody knows what's on the line. Everybody knows what's on the line. I don't want to big my own boots, but I fucking made it. I made it in the middle, in the heart, off the rim and in. And everyone's gassed. They're like, come on, Joe, you fucking legend. So it's a great moment. We go on to the next hole now, and now Pat and the rest of the team, they're just on our heel, like back. They're supporting us basically. So every time we step onto a new tee, Pat's like, oh, what are you doing here, boys? And I'm like, right, I'm going over this way, this way. And yeah, I've basically, this is on me, this one. I think Spicy is locked out. Yeah. And this is a par 4, big par 4. You're going over OB again. You go downhill like this and then up, and the basket is on a tree stump all the way over there, over 200 meters away. So it's a big shot, and I take the line that I usually take, which is there's a left line and a right line. Left line is more safe, but I went for the big smashy Rooney line, even though we're locked out, even though everything's on the line, and I go for it, and I actually miss my line, but I miss it so much that it goes around the tree, and it's absolutely fine, and it hyzers. So now it just does a big hyzer flip. It's even better, and it ends up in the inbounds in the field, way up there for a pretty straightforward approach to the basket for a birdie. And Pat was like, Joe, that was actually the line you meant to take. That was a great miss. And I was like, yeah, I know. So all good. We're both having a good approach. We both run it. We don't make it, but we get the birdie. Yeah. So the next hole, we're in the woods. There's an island hole. It's not very long, maybe like 70 meters through the trees, a bit uphill, maybe slightly shorter than 70. And you have a tree left and right. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised, they hit these first trees. So it's actually quite dangerous, because if you hit those trees, you're definitely in OB and you're effed. So yeah, basically what happens is we both put it right under the basket, obviously, because we're G's, and we move on to the next hole. And everyone's gassed. Like, yeah, man. Well, it's easy peasy. And then the next one is actually more tricky, and basket is now inside of a tree. You heard me right. So it's like a spider tree. So imagine you have first part of the tree's there, and then it extends out. You know where the branches extend out like this, and this. And so the basket's in the middle of the tree, right? So yeah, you need to basically land on a certain side of the tree. I was trying to land it kind of just behind the tree on the right hand side. That's a good spot to land in. So I go to throw, and I'm pretty happy with it. I basically do what I want to do. I aim at the basket tree, a slight hyzer, and it's gonna go just to the right and long, but it hits a branch and it gets down on it. And then Spicy J, he throws, and he goes deep in the woods, so he's out of the game. As in, we're not going to take his at all. There's no point. So we go from mine, and we didn't get a video, but I wish I bloody did. Spoiler alert. So there's, as I said, there's obviously, you have to be on certain angles to get it in the basket. So the trees are like this, and you have to try and get it in different gaps around the tree. It's some parts of where the basket is, there's a big tree in the way, and you can't even go. You have to bounce, try and mack it off the tree. And basically we had a very small gap, and I went up to the tree to see if my disc fitted, and it did, just about perfectly slotted through. If I didn't hit the trees at all, it would go through. But alternatively, I could have bounced it off. I can bounce it off the left stump and in the basket, but it's over 10 meters out uphill, and the pressure of what we're riding on, I think we are now on, that's right, we were on 12 birdies in a row, 4 holes to play. Now we're all thinking about history can be made, birding everything. That's all on the line. I know what's on the line. I wouldn't say stressed, but my heart's beating, But again, like the other putts, I was just like, just aim there, give it everything, and trust, and just pick a point and just give it everything. And I put it up in the air, and it doesn't even hit any trees, it doesn't even hit any branches, it just goes straight in the basket. Everyone is the most gassed at this point. They're like, come on! They come and give me hugs. I think I got a hug off everyone. I think I got kisses off them. I think Nathan Ray gave me a kiss on the cheek, blood. It's going crazy. We're like, all the guys like, go on. They all go try the spot that I was just in, try and see if they can make it too. And they hit the first tree where the basket even wasn't even. So no one could make it. So it was insane. It was a very hard shot. Bit harder as a righty, and they were all righty. So it's shaped quite nicely for a lefty sort of putt. And just wow. And we go on to the next hole, and we're minus 13. 3 holes to play. I don't do a very good drive. Like, bloody hell, this is a lefty hole, basically. It's another slope, basket, 100 meters away, something like that. Maybe a bit less. And so for me, there's trees here, so I just throw it, big hyzer, and I kind of stuffed it up. And Spicy J comes through with a forehand, and he puts it pretty close. He puts it, maybe like 7 meters actually, 7 meters. But at this point, obviously, it's nerve-wracking. It's really nerve-wracking because of what's on the line. The whole card is behind us at this point. But you can see that as extra pressure, but it was a good thing. And yeah, we'd had 13 birdies in a row. This was to keep the streak going. I didn't want to have to putt, to be honest, if I'm honest with you. And Spicy J steps up. I think I was so deeply in the moment at this point. So deeply in the moment. I was just watching, waiting, just hoping to hear that ching with his yellow lander putter, the classic. And it goes in. It goes ching. And we move on to the next hole, 14 under after 14. So on this hole, we knew what was on the line. This is a very hard hole. It's a par 3. Used to be a par 4, actually. And Pat was thinking, he literally came to us and he was like, should we just change it to a par 4 so that you can definitely get a birdie here? But we weren't going to do that. So it's over 100 meters easily. And basically, so the slope is going like this. There's a mando tree, which you have to make it around. And the basket is just over the fence. Over 100 meters, maybe like 120 meters or something. But because of the slope, the basket's just over the fence. So you have to, as a lefty, I'm landing on the downslope already. So when it's just over the fence, you have to basically get it just over the fence to even get close. So it's a very hard shot. And I think Spicy goes first, gets it in a safe area for me to really go for it, and I go for it. He gets it safe, I go for it. Bang. And I just get over on it a bit too much, flatten it out, and it goes long off the basket. But we're absolutely fine with inbounds, haven't missed the mando or anything. It's still a good shot, but it's not what we needed to secure a birdie for definite. So now we have this shot where we're over on this side of the fence, and we have to go over the fence with our putts to get it in, maybe like 20-meter putts, downhill, over a fence. Spicy goes first. I can see the magic at this point. And I trusted him. I see how the yellow lander, trusty yellow lander was steady in his hand. And he releases it. The wind catches it a bit, but it's perfect. Lifts it up. Hits the rim an inch from being in. Everyone goes crazy. We're like, no! All thinking that we've been robbed. And I go for it. I have to do a bit of an Anheuser putt, I'm pretty sure. Go for it. And I missed. But it was the right height, slightly to the right. And so we go on to the final hole, knowing that we need to ace in order to get that perfect minus 16. Already knowing that minus 14 is the best score that's ever happened at Wickham, I'm pretty sure, in doubles. Only getting 14 birdies in a row. So then, we come to the last hole, and this is Goolagong. This is one of the most famous holes. Hypotenuse and Goolagong is probably the most famous. So on this one, you're going really downhill, and you have to go around a tree, but that's not really in the way. You go over a lake, small pond, a big pond, small lake, completely green algae all over it. If you get your disc in there, it's gone. It is lost forever, unless you're going to be a swamp monster and get it back. That's very brave. And so, hard hole. And Spicy J goes up first. Everyone's like, good round, guys, good round. This has been amazing. Spicy J goes first, and he goes. And I'm pretty sure, I think it was out OB. Yeah, it was in the OB. He went OB, and so it was on me, I think. And I go for it. Throw my trusty purple rock nice and high so that it's not going to go OB, but it's a bit too high, and it rides over the basket, past the basket. And then luckily it hits a tree and bounces back. So we're sitting at about 10 meters away. So we go down. People are still looking for their discs and stuff, but I'm just thinking like speed of play, I'll just go for it. And yeah, so I'm lining it up, but I'm getting in the zone still. Lining it up. I'm like, right, let's go. Whew. Straddle putt, uphill, 10 meters away. Go for it. I don't make it. I'm mad. I'm like, no, I felt like I wasted my opportunity. I didn't feel like I gave him at all. Anyway, so Then Spicy J comes over. The other people take their shots, and then it's our Spicy J goes, and he puts it up. He puts it up there. He hits the top part of the chains on the basket. I'm thinking, stay in. And it bounces out. Heartbreak. And I go again just to torture myself and make it right in the heart, just as a practice because the round's over. But we all embraced, our card all embraced, and we knew what had happened on that round. We were -14 under 16. Got in the zone, trusted each other, unreal disc golf, unreal camaraderie from all the card. Just some of the most amazing disc golf moments ever. Such fun, such joy, such love. Just amazing. Honestly, loved it. And we come back to the clubhouse. People are talking about a -14. Like, did you get -14? I'm like, yeah, we got -14. I fall asleep in the summer house because I'm so tired after not much sleep and all of that hard work. And then, so we have some lunch. I have some lunch and then I fall asleep. Put our scores in the summer house, in the barn, which is where the scores are kept. And we are on top, baby, for the first time ever after 4 times playing doubles, winning every singles but never winning doubles. For the first time, going into the final 10 holes, we are up. I am at the top of the leaderboard with Spicy J. 3 ahead of everyone else. With a -14, with all this work, we're only 3 ahead. You know what I mean? But still, very well deserved. So I fall asleep in the summer house on the couch. Spicy J comes and gets me, and he's like, Joe, wake up, we gotta go do the final. I'm like, oh, right, okay. So I get all ready, and then we go and do the final. And we just kept the pace up. We kept the pace up like we had on the other ones. We went -7 through 10, and I didn't realize how crucial it was to keep the pace up. But yeah, we finished that round still 3 ahead of everyone else. So if we shot like a -4, which is still not a bad score in the final, then we would have been tied and we had to play off and stuff. So we kept the pace up on every single round, smashed it every time. And I'm pretty sure I counted this through, I think, 58 holes. I think we finished -43 or something. No, -45, something like that. Like we birdied 4/5 of the holes, and it's crazy. And we went up and we got our tankers, we got our prizes. And just reflect back, there was one final moment, just where we were throwing on the last final hole. It was back on Goolagong, the one that I said with the big pond, small lake, going over there. And whenever these final throws events happen, everyone always waits behind the basket, and there's a field behind the basket. Everyone waits there and watches the lead card, the final card come in, final disc golf hole of the event. And I didn't hear it, but after my name was announced, because we all announced each other's names, it's like, on the tee, yes, and then there was, on the tee, Joe O'Brien, and I think I went, woo! And screamed down the hill, everyone's cheering. And my brother was down there. Apparently he said, there's one guy down there who always he's got this catchphrase every time final throws. He goes, sexy motherfucker! And apparently when I stepped on the tee, he did the loudest one ever, sexy motherfucker! Apparently everyone just accepted it as fact. So that was pretty cool. The story, just a story I heard though. And then we get down there. I'm pretty sure, I think we have a birdie putt. Yeah, we have a birdie putt. That's right. Yeah, I did a good one. I'm about 4 or 5 meters away. Me and Spicy, we're like thinking, how should we do this? Should we do left and right at the same time? We're trying to basically finish the hole at the same time because that's just the camaraderie, the teamship, the doubles, that sort of thing that our team did. Just really encapsulates it so well. So we decide he's just going to use his normal hand. We were going to do something weird. And I was just going to use my normal hand. And we just went down and up and got it in at the same time. And we finish it out together. And that's the end. Beautiful moments. Final throws is someplace. And has created some of my favourite memories in my entire life. And you just meet absolute brothers out there. Friends for life, you know. And thank you for watching. If you're still watching by now, thank you so fucking much. You are an absolute legend, and you are my type of person, and my gratitude goes out to you. I've really enjoyed making this, just telling a story from back in August. Just one of the sickest disc golf tournaments moments ever. So thank you for watching, and see you on the Joey OB channel next time. Peace, adios.